thank god I checked that. I was making sure that the YouTube stream was working. It turns out it wasn't. Now we should be good. Alrighty, now YouTube's working. Hello, hello everyone. Wow, one of the few days I actually like checked my phone to see if the stream is working on YouTube. And luckily it was the day that it wasn't, so I was able to refresh it. Should be good to go now. Alrighty. Put the music down just a little bit here. Yesterday I was actually testing out a lot of stuff on not necessarily like collision, but replication. So off stream I did a bunch of testing to see like, okay, how can we prevent the projectile movement component from hitting our character. So I went in and this code probably, it might not be used, but I essentially went in, found where it was handling collision for the projectile itself, and I added in this line of code here, which basically looks for the owner of the spell that was cast, and what it will do is it will just advance to the next sub-step for movement. So it basically will just ignore the collision. What we need to prevent is from it getting to handle impact, because then this will proceed to stop movement of the projectile itself, and it will call our hit event, which will then trigger the spell, and etc, etc. So that's basically what I did here, and this worked. It worked pretty well. Couple problems with it that I can get into and kind of explain. On the server, works perfect, right? No delay. On the client, there is like a very slight hiccup with it, and it caused some like inconsistencies with the spell, such as like the placement of it, because it had to update this information when the spell was created. So what I was testing was with replication. I was like, huh, let's just get the owner of the spell and see if we can set all of this within the constructor. We don't have to worry about it. Johnny, I'm gonna ban you from the chat if you come in here one more time and say you love the hat. Dude, if I stream tomorrow and I see you come in here and say that same shit again, I'm banning you. That simple. You literally come in here, watch the stream for 2 minutes just to say I love the hat, and then leave. I don't even think you're listening. But, god damn it, I'm getting off track. Yeah, so there's like a delay between replication, so I wanted to see if we could just do it within the constructor. And I was just testing out how that worked. I didn't really get too far with it, but I was just essentially just putting a bunch of logs in and seeing what I could do here. Yeah, so I was adding in the character. This actually doesn't need to really happen. Like, I don't need to cast the character here, but I was just seeing like what it was putting as the owner. And the avatar actor is actually set, and I just dug into this a bit because it's been a while since I messed with this. Avatar actor is just the character itself, the physical representation of our player. Dude, what are you... what are you putting in the quiet or the chat? I also made some like comments too, but don't mind those. Yeah, there's also a built-in function for the collision sphere that we are using, to where you can actually just have the collision sphere ignore certain actors. And I didn't notice that yesterday, but I rewatched some of the stream, and I totally just skipped over this unintentionally, but it happened. So yeah. I don't know if I'm going to call set owner here. We are putting the... Technically, we are putting the owning actor here. So, what I'm going to do... comment this stuff out. Rid of compile. Johnny, what are you going to be streaming today? Yeah, can you not hear me? We're distracted. I got you. My shit crash. Alright, what we care about is set owner. Debuggability here. So I'm basically logging here, logging what the owner is. We have to take note of something. The client, right, is going to have a different name for our actor on the server, because the names aren't replicated over the network or anything. These are just generated by the instance of it. So whenever you're doing testing, you can't really rely on the names too much. What I'm doing is going to be relying on this overlap here. Now you can see every other player in the game has a different name for the listen server, ranging from 0 to 2. Now if we were to grab a client and run into this circle here, we don't get that owner tag. So we get an owner tag here from the client. Shit. We don't know OBS. No tag. Clear that and try it again. This time we're actually going to cast a spell from the client. You're streaming crab souls. How long is that game? Does it detect that I am the owner? It does. There we go. Yeah, so my idea is to have it where the owner just ignores collision with the projectile that we shoot. Since there's like a very small delay with it, I wanted to see if we could do it within the constructor before we actually finish building the actor itself. So that's actually what we're going to be trying now. So I'm grabbing the collision component from the actor here, and we are going to add to the move ignore actors list the owning actor here. We're going to see if the clients recognize this or not. I may have to force an update over the network for this. I actually don't know if move ignore actors gets updated this way. If not, what I'll do is on begin play, I will make sure that the projectile does not have collision when it's initially spawned, and when this actor is added to our move ignore actors list, then I'll turn collision on. So there's going to be probably like one frame where there's not collision, which should not cause that big of a problem. If I find a better solution for this, then I will definitely use it. Okay. What I'm going to do as well is inside base spell, I'm going to be printing out the names of the actors that we're ignoring within the projectile. Which is actually what I'm doing right here. Okay, patch created. All right. Yeah, so you can see where the delay is. It's not even like a frame. It's a pretty small delay, but the onRep function happens right here, which means that the setting of the owner happens probably within the first couple lines, but we just don't know if it happens before or after our collision's actually set, which is the issue. but begin play has this actor as something that it's ignoring. Test collision. What I'm going to do is increase the radius of the sphere so it insta triggers on spawn to see if our actor is actually truly being ignored. I have it set to like 30 right now, but if we increase this to like, I don't know, like 70 or something, that should be large enough to where it will proc on our actor. So if we try to cast this, let's try that one more time here. I'm just gonna get rid of all the other shit in the logs. Yeah, so it looks like it is, on the server at least, it is being ignored. But I can't see that's actually happening on the clients too. Doesn't look like it. Let's increase the radius of that again. Possible it's not actually hitting. Yeah, right there. So you can see where the problem is. The client shows that it exploded as soon as the spell was cast. On the server, completely different story. I believe the other client also shows the same thing as, yeah, the first one. So the way to prevent this is by setting this in the onRep function. We just have to delay collision until onRep is actually called. Okay. We're gonna live code this in and see if this solves it. Hey man, how come you don't use blueprints? I just started Unreal Engine 5 and made a door that opens so far. Hey, that's where we all begin, man. I don't know, there's blueprints are faster, don't get me wrong, to like prototype and everything. But I just love the satisfaction of like programming. That makes sense. It just feels better to do. I have a lot of people actually come in and ask me that question. A lot of developers actually ask me why I don't just throw it all together in blueprints, but I don't know. I just find coding a lot more fun. Oh, look at that. So it looks like our begin play collision comp parameters are not being set until after our onRep function is called, which is great. That makes sense, not to me, because I can't code, but I get it. Do you have previous experience with C++ coding, or is it just for game dev? I have previous programming experience with like Java, JavaScript, a little bit of Python, stuff like that. Nothing with C++. I really like object-oriented programming languages, so I mean, I love Java, but it's just slow as fuck. So when I was like looking into like game development in C++, I was like, oh, this is kind of like right up my alley. And then ever since I did like a couple courses on like learning like the macros and like syntax of C++, I was like, oh yeah, this is like perfect. Something I can do pretty much like all day. In the beginning though, I was terrible. A lot of problems. I didn't understand the difference between like pointers and references, and I was like, what the fuck is what's the point of even using like references if pointers are like the same thing? But it gets into, I don't know, I guess there was like a lot of like abstraction for me when I initially learned, but when you kind of learn like the fundamentals, it gets a lot easier. Looks like we got collision solved. The next thing I really want to tackle is the hit marker stuff, which we're actually also going to use an onRep function for more than likely. What I was thinking of doing is when this projectile is actually spawned, I wanted to check to see if the owner of this is a local authority. And if it is, then I can bind it to a delegate that lets the player know when he's had a successful hit. Since we can use like network roles and stuff of remote and local to detect that kind of shit. Let me pull up the chart actually. Where is my networking folder? Or this is your best friend right here. It's like a flow chart of just like, will this work? Networking. Gets a little bit more complex than this, but this is like a very basic look or a very basic look for multiplayer replication. Yeah, I just finished stream. What kind of game are you making? I am making a first-person MOBA where each player has like 3 classes that they get to choose from. Each class gives the character 10 different spells, so you'll have 30 spells in total. And it's going to be, yeah, kind of like an arena spellcasting game. Have you seen Unspoken? How feasible is a little game like that for a total noob like me? Game looks sick, by the way. I like... oh, when you make the block, then smash... yeah, oh, one of these things. Got you. Hold on a sec. How feasible? Unspoken. Actually don't know if I heard of that one. I might have. I believe we fixed the collision. Yeah. Bam. Oh, this drives me nuts though. You see how many calls are happening right here? From that notify break? That's nuts. So in version 5.3, it was only calling this once, but in 5.4, it's like 37 times. Yeah, so that's what I'm starting to think too. It's like they are doing a notify break for every single like piece, or like every single like fracture of the geometry collection, which is what that thing is. So it's pretty crazy. Now this is networked, so this is actually kind of like a ×3 with the amount of calls here, because you could see this like geometry collection updated is like called a couple times. It's called on each client that's connected to the listen server here. I got 3 game modes running for 3 clients. Or 2 clients, 1 listen server. Also, this has also been coming up. Created saved move, hit limit of 96 saved moves, timing out or very bad ping. I actually do not know what this is stemming from. It says logged net player movement, so I'm assuming it's coming from the character movement component, but I haven't investigated it. But this is a very recent thing, and I think it only happens when I spawn a geometry collection component, so I have an idea. But yeah, hit markers. Could be checking if the player's touching each fracture. Oh, I don't know if it's that or like... Oh man, I was about to like pull up the code and show you, but you said that you don't know coding. I think it's coming from the physics part of a geometry collection, because each like fracture is movement that's actually replicated to the like server. So when you have like a lot of those flying out, my understanding of it is the first like actual impulse or explosion that sends those shards off is the thing that's replicated, and then the physics after that is replicated like every so often to make sure like everything like lines up on all players' machines. So it might be that, but if I like put this in and I found like where this log is located, I could like start backtracking it to see exactly where this problem is starting from. So it's not something that's like a high priority because it's not causing like a really bad problem right now. But before we do a play test, I definitely have to get in and solve that. This too, because like that's so many fucking function calls. This would probably, like if there was multiple like rock walls that got destroyed at a single like instance, it would probably cause like a flush, meaning it would like hard lock a frame for like almost a second and then just like unfreeze after that. So this is going to be a problem. But yeah. So on rep owner, we want to basically find out if the current machine that we're spawning on is the actual owner of this projectile, and if it is, then we're going to assign this projectile to notify the character that it hit something when it does. And when it does that, it'll update our UI on the character and give like a hit marker sound and yada yada yada. So that's what we're going to be doing. I might have a function for the hit marker stuff already set. If not, I'll create one. Thought I had a delegate made. Oh, I do, but I made it in here. I want to make it on the character itself. So a delegate is the same thing as a event in Blueprints. Just to give anybody reference. Grab that here. I'm gonna go down to our spell casting. There we go. Now there's two ways that I could do this. I could tap into the owner and grab the delegate here, or I could put this delegate on the player controller. Either way, it's kind of just like where do you want to like organize this shit, because at the end of the day it's all going to do the same thing. I think we're going to do it right here though, for now. I do like to keep a lot of my HUD stuff on the player controller though. It's character HUD. So this is another thing we have to think about, right? The player possibly could have multiple spells spawned in at one time, right? So if that's the case, we can't just make this declare delegate. We have to make this probably a multicast, right? No. I think I'm getting my I think I'm just like flooding my brain with the idea of this. I actually just thought of this at the this exact moment. Now, how bad of a problem is that going to be in the future, as we have way too many things connected to this? Yeah, I might have to make this a dynamic multicast delegate. Lucky, it's been a while. How are you doing? Good, lots of homework. Hey, you're keeping busy though. Me? Oh, I've been going into Insanity, trying to fix some problems I found with the physics system in Unreal. But besides that, I'm doing fantastic. So we actually want to bind this on begin play here. Hold up a sec. What the fuck am I doing? Oh my god. And the easy way out is just use gameplay cues that are replicated. Actually, I might have that set up. I thought I did. North Rock Game Studios. I want you to fill my... What are you saying, my guy? Also, what the hell is that emote? Oh my god. Okay, yeah. We have it attached to our ACS. This is actually what we want to do. Right here. We actually might not need a delegate for this then. What we could do is we could just access our owner. And call this function. But I do like using delegates. Grab this. Yeah, originally I was going to use an RPC for this, but I was like, anything that has like ticking damage would just like absolutely destroy the network. You might want to settle down there, friend. Getting a little weird. Brother, it's 12 o'clock. Listen, I understand you can do what you gotta do, but you know, get done what you need to get done first. Don't waste time. That's what I'm saying, man. Like, if only you had that in the beginning. You would have been like, fuck, I just wasted like... What was that? Hold on, when did you send the first message? I can't even see the fucking timestamp. You just wasted like 3 minutes. I just fucking jump around clicking on random shit. I actually need to cast this back in. You are a fucking genius. I wouldn't say that. I appreciate the compliment though. Have you ever used Blender? What should I go for? Unreal Engine 5 slash Blender? I'm not, so I don't really do modeling that often, but when I do use Blender. It really depends on what you're trying to do. Because like Unreal Engine 5 is used for like cinematography, game development, like staging and stuff for architecture as well. So whatever need you have for it, that will kind of dictate like where you should really go with it. But I'm assuming you're here for game development, so yes, it is a good combination to have both of those. I actually don't want to get the... I'm just trying to think of how I want to compare this right now. Because the main goal, right, is to figure out if the current client that we're on is the client of the owner of this ability. All clients are going to spawn this in, right? We just need to determine if the current one that we're on is the owner. So the local role should be authority at that point, if that's the case. Yes. I don't know. Maybe I'm just frying my brain and thinking about this way too much. Autonomous proxy. We'll figure it out as we go. I'm gonna test some stuff out here first. I'm gonna close down and recompile real fast. Try this out. Oh yeah, shit. You know, I get like a lot of bots and stuff in chat sometimes. They say some crazy shit to get you to like try and give them your Discord info. But that's probably been like the craziest message I've ever gotten since I started streaming. Actually, hold on. I gotta fucking screenshot that shit and send it to my friend. Right, don't fucking crash, please. Alright, we're good. Alright, why did we fail now? Do we not have access to poker character? We should. Oh, wait, we actually might not have access to it in the projectile. No, it's right here, actually. Alright, so why are you giving me a problem? Is this protected? No, it says it does not exist. Did we or did we not create that? Dude, I'm fucking losing my mind. Where the fuck did my function go? Man, I'm not opening up all my fucking files just to try and look for this. I'm actually genuinely confused. Where the hell did it go? I must have pressed Control Z or something on accident. That's crazy. I do not. Sorry to disappoint. Oh my god. The fuck was that function called? Execute gameplay queue local gameplay queue tag parameters. I think we just gave it no parameters, but it's looking for a const reference. Shit. It's actually crazy though. I actually kind of want to look the VOD and see. Where the hell did I put it? Okay, I move it. Sorry. What the fuck? I just took the whole thing and just controlled X it. Like, press Control X, it just fucking cut it out. Why? What the fuck am I doing? Anyways. Wow. Wow, when I talk about being like off ball, bro, what in the fuck is happening today? I'm losing my mind. Either of them just bad fingering keys left and right. Speaking of being off ball, I was playing some Magic this morning, and I like to play drafts and everything like that. Not terrible at them, but man, I ran into like 3 people in queue that just high rolled the absolute shit out of their Magic drafts. I don't know if anybody here actually plays it. Holy shit, they one guy had 2 fucking calamities in his deck. Just one of the most broken cards in draft. And I ran into people that had like Oko and stuff. I just proceeded to get like fucking rolled. White green just seems to be the best colors in the draft this season. In any case, let's see what we got here. I actually have to turn this up a bit so I can hear if hit marker plays at all. Actually see what their local rules are. I'll print that out. Oh wait, what the fuck am I doing? I gotta check owner's local role. God damn it. Again. What was the function I used before for this? Some days it's harder to remember than others. For some reason I thought there was one that was Was it get name by value? Is const? Shit. Yeah, this is exactly what it is. Get value as string. It was trying to have me use the const version of this. Now we should be fine. Rep owner. Simulated proxy. Yeah. That's because we're the listen server right now. Let's see what it is on the clients. Autonomous proxy is what it is. I guess that makes sense. Okay, so if we check it here, and I need like a refresher on the stack of how networking works in the more like advanced parts of this. It's basically like a matrix of local and remote role combinations that dictate the like what the actor is to the current viewport that you're looking into. Like these are simulated proxies. We go to a client. Here we go. Autonomous proxy. Yo, yeah, wait, do you see it, Johnny? Dude. somebody said that in chat. Out of like nowhere, bro. I thought it was Gary or somebody like stopped by. But nah, their account has been yeah, I don't think he actually was. I think it was just a joke. But whatever the case. It's like I thought it was Gary at first, which is why I was like so like nonchalant about it. But who knows who it is. Yo, what the fuck? That's what I'm saying, dude. Do you see those messages, bro? I don't think I can even show them on stream. I had to screenshot it though and posted it in Discord. That was way too funny. Alright, anyways, getting off topic. For listen server, we gotta look for we gotta look for a different way of doing this. But yeah. Bro, that's what I was saying to him. I was like, bro, it's only like 12 o'clock. You know, like, wake up and do something else with your day. Be a little bit more productive. But then he said the thing about like post-nut clarity, and that just, I don't know, that was just icing on the cake. Alright, we actually really want to use a delegate for this though. Once we find out that the current machine that this is spawned on is the owner, that's when we're actually going to set up the hit marker sounds. We can identify it now. So the listen server, it's going to be a different way of doing it. On the listen server, we're actually probably going to set it up through when we actually spawn it. It'll probably be easier that way. Okay, so we would want the delegate to be on this projectile. And we want to tap into the character. I'm just thinking, are there any parameters that I would want to pass through for this? Because like we're going to be doing critical strike damage. We're going to have like multipliers. Like there's going to be things that are more dynamic in damage. So the hit marker, we could do like a lot of really unique things with it in terms of those like parameters. So I could pass in something to just give a better visual indicator. Like if we do a critical strike, maybe we light up the actual hit marker like orange or something. And maybe change like the sound effect for it as well. Hearing the same like hit marker like ticking sound for like every type of damage that we do gets really boring in my opinion, which is why having these like really crucial visual indicators are so important. Your game feels like insanely flat, just put it that way. You don't have anything that kind of helps disrupt the pace a bit. What do I want to send by? Man, this is so hard to think about because, like, I have so many passive abilities in the game too. Maybe I just want to keep it super general. I also don't want to spend like a ton of time thinking about this on stream because I could definitely come up with this information off stream when I'm doing the whiteboarding for design, which is probably where it's more appropriate to do that kind of setup. Okay. So where are we doing our apply? I believe it is here. We have an old delegate here that we're not going to be using anymore. So we'll probably just get rid of that. Rid of that as well. Probably don't need this information either. Alright, thinking about this, right? Apply gameplay effect of character. We only want to apply this effect, or we only want this hit marker to go off if the effect is actually successfully applied. And I don't think we reached the point in our code where we know if it actually happens or not. Oh, we actually have a hit marker tag here. Why? Technically, that's not really doing anything. Alright, before we get into that kind of shit, just make sure that the application works the way we're thinking right now. How I fucking missed. Projectile hits. Go back here. Actually, now that I think about it, there may be a couple of points where this can actually fail before we get there. Yeah, okay. So this is where the problem starts to kick in for how this type of application works, right? Is the server only has access to the ability system components. So it's only allowed to check to see if the damage was applied or not, which is why our hit marker sound currently is not playing, because it's not even reaching this point here. What's a way around this, though? Like this if statement here is actually kind of keeping guard of anything that is not server related getting by. Pretty much. So like if we, for instance, just put this on the outside here. Go back in and grab this. In theory, this should actually trigger. Man. Every step I take in this direction where we just try to keep this local and avoid using any type of like RPCs for hit markers, there's always just like one more obstacle that kind of just like stands in our way for a second. Technically, we could just have it send a client-side RPC to the owner of this if it's successfully applied, but I want to try to avoid that. It's much more, be much healthier to just have this be local. Free up more bandwidth for other things that need to be replicated. Less stress on the server too. Is that double applied? It was. I'm gonna clear this and do that one more time. Clear this out. Back here. So, I mean, I only heard the application happen once there. Another thing. We probably... I thought I had like a failsafe for double application. I'll probably double check that. I'm gonna fill my water up real quick, then we'll hop back to this. We're pretty close. I have 2 other methods I want to try, and one of them should work. Yeah, we'll get there. Be right back. go ahead and check our begin overlap real quick, because there should be something preventing double dipping. Right here, actually. Oh, you know what it is? It's possible that it was triggered by the ground. As stupid as that sounds, because we don't have any early exits to detect like collision with the floor or anything. So, I mean, we're just testing out the hit marker UI effects and everything right now, but yeah, technically the floor can actually proc it right now, since there's no nothing against it. We could filter that out. As simple as doing this, actually. So we're only going to proc that sound if the player has this tag, which they do. Jesus Christ, I've been trying to get Visual Studio Code working in Unreal for the past half hour. I can't generate project files no matter what. Are you using like... well, first off, when you built your project, did you build it saying like you wanted to use it for blueprints or C++? And if you said like blueprints, you still can like use C++ with it. But what you have to do usually is, hold on a second, let me open it up. There is... Okay. Usually what you have to do is right click on the project itself and click this generate Visual Studio project files. And after it does that, you open up the SLN file and press Control F5, and it should do the compiling for Unreal Engine. It is, I admit, it is a pain in the ass using Visual Studio with Unreal Engine. They're trying to make it better. Microsoft is releasing like countless patches and updates for features to make it more compatible. But you know, it's a free development tool, so it kind of is what it is at some time or at some points. I love and hate Visual Studio. so the ground should not. It does not. In my PC, that option doesn't show up directly. I need to click show more options before seeing the options to generate VS project files. Oh, good to know. Okay. Let me put that in chat actually. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy and paste that over. Thanks for the info. Okay. And proc from the ground. We have an early stop before procking affects the allies. It's also working. And then it applies to a different target. Cool. Yeah, when I right click on the U project file, the option isn't there. Yeah. So what somebody in Twitch chat said was they basically need to click on the option for show more options. I think that's actually, hold on a second. Let me open up. Shit, where's the show more options feature? You would think that it would be right here. Not show hidden files. You know what? I'm gonna Google it real quick. Are you running Windows 10 or 11? Fuck, man. My tech support thing's kicking in. So I ran an IT business for 10 years. So when people ask me like these kind of questions, my brain just goes to like right to help mode. Oh yeah, so Windows 11 has a thing where you have to click on fucking more options apparently to like show all that stuff there. Oh, on 10 had to check. For reference, running Windows 11. Yeah, I saw that. You're on 10 and it's not coming up for you there. All right. God damn, I hate that I worked in IT for so long, but it is what it is. Hold on, we'll get you through this, don't worry. My best friend, Google, has gave us a blog post to look at. Got an interview for my first IT job tomorrow. They have no idea what they're in for. Oh God. Yeah. I lost faith in the world working for IT for so long. You don't realize, man, maybe this is like a bad thing to say, or it's probably a hot take, but like, older people are good at what they do, or, you know, what they've learned, right? Technology, very new thing. Computers, very difficult to learn for older generation folk. And not to get into politics, but a lot of those people are politicians that don't understand technology. And I deal with people from their generation, and it makes me lose faith in my country. That's all I'm gonna say. Gotta love. Oh my god, this guy wants you to go on the reg edit for it? Is that really what you have to do? Shut the fuck up. That's crazy if that's what you actually have to do. How old is this post? 2016? Worked here, thanks. Kisses. What is this? Check that the file is writable. Spaces in the top level directory name can cause this misleading error message. For example, I don't know if you have spaces in your, the naming of your project. Wow, some other guy posted something about, what is this, take? Oh, it's, Unreal version selector. Oh, I guess that's what, I guess that was an older problem, eh? Does your version of Unreal Engine have this button by chance? The Open Visual Studio button? Or the Refresh Visual Studio project when you have Unreal Engine open? I work with software development and I do the same. Always want to find how to help people. Yeah, exactly. So you get it. Also, apologies if I read that message pretty late. I was tunnel visioned on the problem at hand. But yeah, it looks like we got working for the most part hit markers. They don't work on the server, but that's actually something we could fix fairly easily. Let's see here. I think the refresh button is called generate. Haven't done that yet. It's grayed out. Oh, okay. I wonder... IT mode kicked in again. You probably see what I'm typing in via my like keyboard like overlay thing. Unreal Engine 5 switch project from Blueprint to C++. I thought it was as easy as doing the generation, but it might be a little bit more, eh? Oh yeah. So another thing that you can try is, instead of clicking like open Visual Studio, do you have like, does it say new C++ class anywhere on your thing? Tempted to delete and uninstall everything in case I misstepped installing VS. I don't know. It's just third person template if that helps. So how much work have you put into the template? Because you could make a new project, and when you first make a new project, it actually asks you what you want to use it for. C++ being one of the options for that as well. A few hours tops. It might be one of those cases where you just like bite the bullet and start fresh. Maybe just like look at the old one for reference to like add some new things in. And just start the project with the C++. And what you can do is, if there's problems actually getting that set up, no compiler is found. Ah. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere. And when I say somewhere, Google. Open Visual Studio installer, and apparently they ran the repair mode. Yeah, Visual Studio 2022 might be... It's possible Visual Studio is broken. Should be a download link for it. You know, I think I could send it over. Also, whenever you get Visual Studio, do not update it. I repeat, do not fucking update Visual Studio 2022. Because every time I do, it just slows the shit out of the compiler. Everything just like has like a half-second delay on it until like I disable a bunch of stuff or features that they added onto it, and it is like, it is so annoying to deal with. Like, fucking Christ, there was one where they're like, we improved IntelliSense, but like their idea of improving IntelliSense is to like add this like thing that implies what you're going to do, and it will just like scan all your fucking files to see if like there's a piece of code that you want to like just quickly insert, quickly, quote unquote, and it will start to like load that, and then if you ever try to like save it or like do a quick save or something, it'll act like it's a brand new file. It'll open up the thing to like click save as. And I've never wanted to destroy my equipment so bad than just having that happen every single time I went to save something. But I can't afford to do it, so I'm not allowed. So I just gotta complain about it instead. Oh yeah, Visual Studio Code. That would do it. So Visual Studio Code and Visual Studio 2022 are two completely different things. Which is, in my mind, dumb. Because they're both named very similar to one another. But Visual Studio Code is more of like an all-around compiler and used for like many different languages, whereas Visual Studio 2022 is like just for like C++ and C# and shit. Oh, the wrong tutorial. That would probably be why you can't generate like files and stuff, because it doesn't detect Visual Studio on your computer. But we got there. Okay. Yeah, no problem, brother. There you go. Yeah, Visual Studio Code. I have all my old like web development projects on that. What I used when I was learning React and JavaScript back in the day. So like this right here is realistically where we would want to do that like hit marker noise. God, I don't want to use RPCs for that kind of thing. I mean, it would be like client-side one. So it's not like a multicast. Shit. Alright. The last and final way I thought about doing this was sending a client-side RPC through the attribute set when we know that we dealt the damage and we can display it. I wonder if gameplay queues actually have like an optimized version of it that doesn't replicate to everybody, because I don't want that. This is just a UI effect. Like, goddamn. Can't be that difficult. Okay, let's see what the base class has for gameplay queue. Yeah, so it has a bunch of multicast effects. We don't want those. Does it have any client-side ones? Or is it only? Okay, so they put net multicast with an underscore after it, but for client-side stuff, they don't. Don't care about predictive gameplay cues. Just care about ones that are guaranteed from a gameplay effect. See, this is where experience comes into play with working with gameplay cues. Minimal replication. Okay, what's this? Add gameplay cue for minimal replication mode. Is there one that just sends it to the client asking for it and not a multicast? What does minimal replication have for me? Let me open up the documentation for this as well. Yeah, gameplay queue. So from what they're saying, gameplay queues are replicated to everybody. So I guess we just have to make a custom gameplay queue for client-side replication. Honestly, you know what? Screw it. We'll try it. If we find something better later on, we'll change it. Not a big deal, but kind of just have to get rolling with it. Any type of visual effects will never be reliable. Honestly, reliable is not a great thing to use in the first place. Gameplay queue parameters. I don't think we're ever going to need to pass that through. I think we just need to pass through the gameplay tag. So, if you've ever looked at like the performance of an RPC when you do not pass parameters into it, it's actually saving a lot of data. Which makes me kind of just want to make a gameplay queue specifically for hit markers, where we don't pass any info into it. What kind of game am I making? It is a first-person MOBA style game. So you have like 30 different abilities, and you basically assign those abilities to your character and use them in an arena, and it's like a round by round thing. So like you and a team of anywhere from like 3 to 5 or more, depending on the map, team up and kill the opponents. Yeah, we'll just do one specifically for hit marker for now. What do I want to do with this? Actually, what we can do is use the owner of this ability system component to call this function. Let me see if the base class has the like a special like owner function, so I could grab the character specifically. Here we go. Avatar actor, that's what we want. Can be null. I mean, we're gonna cast it anyway, so if it's null, then we'll be able to sort that out. Thank God for dynamic casting. Character activates marker UI. Should be good. We do want to know though, if there's any problems with this. Log temp. Running text. For RPCs, you have to put underscore implementation at the end of it in order for it to work. It's going to show red like there's a problem. But yeah. It is what it is. Also, if I were to make this like a virtual function where we like override it in the future, the way I would handle this is I would make like a function here for like play hit marker gameplay queue. And instead of like marking this as virtual right here, right? All you would do is mark this one virtual, grab this guy here, and instead of having all this in here, you just plug that in instead. Which I don't plan on it, but we can make it look nice. That's how we would do it. Okay. We need to find out where we are calling this as well. We're going to temporarily get rid of it and replace it. Calling it here. Comment this out. I think that's what we name the function. Yeah. Okay. Now, we want to call this way we call it is we actually don't use the implementation version of it. We know that when we are applying damage via this ability system component, that we're more than likely going to be on the server, or we should be on the server. So like here, for instance, this returns to this here, returns that. Okay. I was just seeing where the trail actually led there. We only want the hit marker sound if we deal positive combat damage. Negative combat damage actually relates to healing in the current system that we have set up. So we call this here. Let me just double check that. I want to make sure that the target we are applying this to is the owning ability system component is the other actor. So it's not our current character's ability system component. So we actually want to get the owner of this and pass it through. So we actually have to make a modified version of this now. So we're able to do that. This is a custom function I created, yeah. I believe so. Or did I override this? No, it's custom. Okay. Wait, if we're doing it this way, how are we setting the instigator? That's how, right here. This should always be valid, but in the case that it's not, we do want to double check, make sure that our handle.data is valid before we try to call anything through it, or else we risk the chance of just destroying our application mid-game. Not for good, obviously, but Okay, so get context actually is not a pointer, so we actually don't need this part here. Oh, we actually have to cast this through. Okay, I mean... So if we're doing this, we actually don't need to do a check here because we're dynamically casting. This dynamic cast goes through, then we know we're good. Okay. I do want to know if we have any problems with casting or if we have bad data. So I'm going to put some else statements here. If ability damage. We need to make sure ability damage is greater than 0. I know this is starting to look like a Christmas tree here, but sort this out. Majority of these checks will get deleted once we verify that the system is working. The only one that's going to remain is probably the one checking for the instigator's ability system component. Just in case that dynamic cast actually causes a crash. But again, it should not. I think next week's theme is going to be logging. So we're going to make a custom logging system. Little update. Currently trying to departition my C drive with the empty 365 gigs I partitioned away for reasons unknown years ago. Recovery partition is in the way though. This might end badly. Oh god, no. Aren't you able to go into disk management to clear that up? Should be able to delete the volume in disk management and then extend your current volume with the unallocated space. Yeah. Oh, probably, yeah, true. If it's the same partition Windows is installed on, then you might be fucked. This recovery partition is in the way. Are you able to Is it marked as unallocated space? Or is it something else? Because if it's marked unallocated, typically you can go into command prompt, which is, I mean, it gets tedious, but you can force a format in command prompt with administrator and create a partition that way. Mark that unallocated. Are you able to right click on it and do anything with it there? All right. Oh wait, we need to do actual damage to him though. Alright. Let's try this a different way. I did not mean to click play. We need to go into a separate map here. For now, we'll just go with our arena. Put this down to 2 players because we don't need 3 at the moment. If it's already unallocated and on the same disk, he might be able to extend the current partition he already has. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. New simple volume and properties are available. When you right click on the unallocated disk, is there anything that says extend? Extra streaming over budget. Nope. That gets a little bit tricky. And it's grayed out in C. Ooh. So to be fair, nice. Working. So to be fair, you could create a new simple volume and just use that separately for the engine itself, and then put your projects on a different drive. Oh yeah, I didn't think about that. So that option would be, thank you, I appreciate the input. That option to extend the drive would actually be on the allocated partition. So if we open up disk management, if you have a part that's like grayed out, like this for instance, you would right click on this and you would see extend volume, and that should be lit up, and then it should allow you to extend the volume for whatever partition amount is unallocated. It should work on the server as well. Double check that. Yeah. I mean, we're good then. Hit markers. Does it work with auto attacks? Oh, that's broken. Okay though. We can fix that. Yeah, I would not delete recovery partition. That is not a good idea. Technically, you can shrink recovery partition, because it doesn't use the whole lot, but not recommended. So yeah, we have working hit markers on our projectiles, and it should work for pretty much anything that calls this function, actually. anything that applies damage. If we shift F12, we can see everything that uses this current function. I just want to make sure that it all is good. Yeah, these were for like hit scan abilities, which I more than likely will be removing almost entirely. Having a spell-based game where spells are hit scan is a lot more difficult to balance when you have projectiles in the game too. So it looks like we have spells pretty much handled besides that one bug I just saw. But that might be because the settings are just off on that ability. So, let's see. If we go into our ability system and go to spells in our pyromancy tree, take a look at this one and see if there's anything that jumps out at us. Let's see here. Extend this over. Stop on collision. I think I saw that in effect. Yeah, I mean right there. So it basically just had the damage applier turned off. But we turned it back on, so it should work now. The model isn't actually the prettiest thing to look at. It's actually more so just a placeholder. We just flattened a cone. That's pretty much it. I think I need to make a debug game mode. Wonder, let's actually try the arena game mode on this map specifically and see if it works. Because if so, that'll make it a little bit easier. One second, let me just raise our player starts up. And for spawning, okay, try to adjust but always spawn. Need to make sure that's on. Yeah, so it looks like the client has a problem. What would prevent that from spawning in? If the... So, I mean, it is setting team IDs, though. Oh. The player start tags. The way we identify where a player can actually spawn in the map is through these tags. So if I put a 0 here, team 0 will start there. If I put a 1 on these guys, same effect. That might be what's actually causing it. We'll see. Bullshit. All right. So ability spawns. Oh, I know what's happening. Collision comp is set to 45. Should be like 5. Okay, yeah, that spell's a little broken. Hit marker works though. Oh, what was that? And no blocking hit gets triggered, huh? But by what? Component, static mesh component 0. I think I broke my toggle debug. It's supposed to detach from the character. Weird. Let's try that again. I think when it says static mesh component 0, yeah, it thinks it's hitting the floor. That is fucking crazy. Let's show collision here. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. So, the settings for the spell projectile got reset with the speed and everything. Yeah. Also applying gravity. Don't want that for this spell in particular. I was like, why the hell is it just like immediately stopping on impact? But everything has an explanation. There we go. Oh, gotta make a note of this too. I do need to clean up for spells at the end of a round. Let's see here. Create round end garbage collection spells. Now it's actually going to be a lot easier to do this than I originally anticipated, because we could just use a function at round's end during the intermission that gets all actors in the world that basically are either parented by or a part of our base spell class hierarchy. So if anything falls into this category, which all of our abilities do in the game, we'll scoop them up and destroy them. Note of that. We might be able to create that right on the game mode itself. But technically we need to call that like on all clients. Success? Yes. Love to see it. Yeah, so we'll probably do it here. Round end, where are you located? So we have round timer expired, but that's not what we want. We want this specifically right there. Now this gets broadcasted to player states, controllers, and other aspects of the game instance itself. Yeah, so this gets passed around a little bit. But right here, we probably want to make our function yeah, we can probably just make this a protected function. We could either name it that or just round end cleanup. Probably do cleanup instead. Not want that. Cause a problem. The subclass of a base spell. Static. Oh, and these are going to be the actors. The array. Include abilities slash spells base spell. Oh, no, it can't be... Yeah, it can't be specific. I forgot. So we have to do it this way. I mean, actually, it's totally fine, because in our for loop, we're just going to delete it as an actor anyways. It doesn't matter. Just check to make sure that it is still a valid thing that needs to get destroyed. Like so. Yeah, you usually never want to call this function, by the way, but the only reason I feel comfortable doing it here is because for round cleanup, or at the end of a round, there is a timer that basically does like a 4 or 5 second intermission where all characters are pretty much just in spectate mode. So there's not going to be like a massive like flush or like hiccup of gameplay. And I don't expect a lot of spells to still be remaining on the field when this is called anyways. So if there's any time to do something like this, it would be at this point. I actually want to label this well. Probably not. Should be fine. Is there anything else that we need to delete on a round end that I can think of? That should be okay. As always, I want to have a ton of logs for any new feature or any like major change like this, because I like catching bugs almost immediately. This should also never happen either, but the only reason it would happen would be the same instance that we're calling this get all actors of a class. Within like the following tick after it, the spell gets destroyed on its own. But I believe get all actors of class checks to see, or checks to make sure that the actual actor that it's trying to put in this list is not marked for destruction already. But yeah. Just gonna recompile here, make sure everything's good. I tried to compile too fast. Gonna take a little bit of time. So all I'm going to do is check and see if spell cleanup gets called when all enemy players are killed. And if so, probably wrap it up for the day. It does. Look at that. Spell destroyed. Instantly, too. Love to see it. Oh, actually, let me check another thing, too. So on next round, I want to see if it also cleans up the geometry collection. So, like, all the collision particles and stuff. Or, not collision, all the fractured collision pieces. I want to make sure that they also get cleaned up. Restart the round. So let's destroy this. Nice. Oh, you love to see it. All right. I think that is a successful day for the most part. Tomorrow we are going to be pretty much just making new abilities to replace old ones, depending on how far I get tonight on the refactor for our ability system. But yeah, with that being said, wherever you are, I hope you have a great morning, evening, afternoon, or night, and till tomorrow. Peace.